remember when people were throwing a fit about blue versus red, like in games, because it's like gang related?
Oh.
Was that a thing?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Because like Halo's blue team, red team, people were like, "Oh, this is gang related."
How are you supposed to differentiate?
Because of all the guns.
Gold and silver.
It's literally future armies murdering each other.
With aliens.
That's gang related.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's like I
Like,
I don't know. That's like you were doing a line of coke and they're like, "Hey, that's weed related."
But like, I'm just imagining some fucking Halo nerd jumping in, like, I don't know, the back of a pickup, and then pulling out his hand and like air gunning, like my fucking needle launcher, bruh, blow you up, like just going real.
The back of the Warthog, man.
Yeah, like what?
A rat-a-tat-tat.
Sort of. I don't know. What was the sound the needle gun made? I don't even remember.
I think it was like.
Yeah.
That was pew pew.
Is it pew pew?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't played Halo in like 15 years.
Yeah.
I still play, so.
The same one, or is it like?
Well, they released that Master Chief Collection years ago, so yeah.
Yeah, you're still playing the same ones.
It's got all of them on there.
I think it stopped being as fun when we stopped doing those.
Drugs.
No.
That's what you made it
I
sound.
never did drugs.
No, when you think about Devin, hardcore drug user.
Right.
Hell, we just witnessed them down half a pack of cigarettes. So.
Yeah. Whole.
You know what's funny is I was legitimately looking around like, where's my other pack? Yo, it's in my pocket. I just found it. But yeah, when we did those
The
what are
LAN
they
parties.
called? The LAN parties when we were just talking shit with your friends really in different rooms.
Yeah.
Like, that was the fun part.
Well, because we had it set, one was upstairs and one was in the basement, and we didn't have like headsets or anything, so we yelled through a vent, like talking shit to each other.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are a bunch of bitches. Bitches.
And then fucking Alex would somehow would sneak, look at the TV, like that would
Cheating.
happen, and like especially when we had to do it in the same room, like when we would just face opposite directions.
Yeah.
His ass was always the one turning around to look at the screen to see where we were on it to shoot us.
Those were rough for me because it was just a mirror trying to carry me through games.
Same.
Like,
Same. He was so good and I was so bad.
but like the comparison between you and Amir is the comparison between me and you. Like, that's how bad I was.
Oh.
Was that you looked like Amir compared to me. Could you not open up a goddamn pack of cigarettes?
You and those
sorry,
damn
bro.
cigarettes.
I'm fiending.
You have an open pack.
Nah, it's out.
Well, welcome to this issue of Mex-Men. I'm Tony.
I'm Justin.
I'm Devin.
And he's just downing some cigarettes.
I got a problem.
Yep. I'm not even allowed to smoke in here.
That's why he's eating them.
That's what I'm eating them.
Try to get that tobacco fix. Today we're going to be going over issues 7 through 9 of Axis, but we're going to be starting with issue 3 of Carnage Axis.
Yeah.
Because the story of issue 3 concludes before issue 7 starts.
Yeah. Which is interesting because I did not know he got absolved of his sin.
Yep.
So that's
It was eaten.
Yep.
Which explains why he's so different at the beginning of this book and like how he is in Axis, because you're like he's real fucked up in this, but he's supposed to be like more of a good guy in Axis.
And they were such good guys that really tells you how evil they were in the first place.
Who?
All these villains, because they were like the best guys.
It also explains like how, because like all the villains are in this are like when they're inverted to good guys, they're like, this sucks, and then all the villains are like, or all the good guys who are inverted into villains are like, this is awesome.
We never want to change.
Yeah, being the good guy sucks.
Yeah, we find that out at the end of Carnage number 3.
Yep. And at the beginning of Carnage number 3.
Well,
the
yeah.
First page is him being blown up with rockets.
Yeah, so with that, Carnage number 3. Remember those 2 missiles that were coming right for him at the end of the second book? Well, they hit.
They're still coming.
They came.
Gross.
They even groaned after, like, ugh.
Yeah, Carnage took the brunt of that force.
Yeah.
Instead of kapow, it's like.
Oh, jeez. Oh, it's damn.
Just all over his back. They
That
came
is-
all over his back.
That is literally the onomatopoeia for that. Makes perfect sense. It's like somebody, an onlooker, wrote that.
Yeah, kadam. It sounds like a Luke Cage line.
They fucking, like, one of the advertisements in the book was Bang Bros.
I picture that sound effect. Do you know who Ron Simmons is?
Yeah.
The way he says, damn. Like it's kadam.
So, Carnage gets hit, and then he's, like, in heaven as a boy. And it's, like, this weird, hallucination he has, because obviously he's...
There's no way he's ever going to heaven.
Yeah, obviously that's a very traumatic experience, getting shot by 2 missiles, so he's, like, putting his body back together. But he's having this vision of being in heaven and angels talking to him, and he's like, they shot me with missiles. What the fuck? And she's like, yeah, they're not ready to accept you yet. And like, basically, it's getting around to like the speech of like, with great power comes great responsibility. But even in Carnage's delusional mind, like heroic mind, he can't even think of that concept. It's just like. And the angel is actually Alice, the reporter.
Yeah, he thinks she's like just the greatest thing ever, and she's just using him for a story.
Yeah. He thinks she's the tits and hasn't realized, no, she just has tits.
Yeah.
Is that offensive? I don't know if that's offensive or not.
No, because tits are awesome.
Sure.
So
I mean, they're great. Yeah.
they're the best and are appreciated. So, you know. Anyway, so he's like obviously has her on a pedestal, and she's telling him like, you know, with great power comes great, you know, like a lot of shit.
Yeah.
A lot of shit comes with that,
she's
and you
like,
just gotta deal.
Yeah, just don't be a jerk, all right?
Yeah.
Like do that, and you're cool.
And then suddenly she's snatched by a giant monster version of Sin Eater. And is like, fucking save me, damn it. Be a hero. That's like what heroes do. And he's like, oh yeah. And sort of is out of that delusional, usually like Deadpool moment, kind of.
It reminds me of like, what was it, Lewis? Is that the guy in Ant-Man who retells the story?
Luis.
Yeah.
Is it Luis though?
Yeah, Luis. Well, it was always Luis.
Was it? So
I'm not like making that up. It
Okay.
wasn't Luis, and then I'm like, no, he's Hispanic, so it's obviously Luis.
because he's retelling the story, or he's obviously making like her speech. He's writing it or whatever because it's in his brain. It's like, you're the hero now. You got mad skills. That's what she said.
You got mad skills.
You gotta be like all responsible and shit, you know?
So he's like, oh yeah, I gotta do that. And meanwhile, Sin Eater has Alice, and he's taking her down to a cave, because he's not just going to kill her right away, apparently, because that wouldn't be good for the story, even though that's literally what he's been doing.
Yeah, also, he's so ripped that you can see his abs through his purple shirt.
Well, he's so ripped that his face is gone, so, you know.
It's really just
He's
tied
plenty
in the
ripped.
back.
So he's basically Skeletor, where it's just a skull face and just like a shredded body.
No, he did that thing where you tie a knot in the back of the shirt.
So it's like
Super
it just
tight,
walls
yeah.
around it. He's got like muscle implants all in his stomach.
Oh, man,
Wearing
those
a
are the
padded
worst.
thing.
For so many reasons. Like, you already don't have muscles, and you're going to make your body heavier. Like, that's so uncomfortable.
Oh no, I was thinking he was wearing like a padded Halloween costume.
Like a Superman costume.
Yeah.
Maybe he is doing that.
So, and he's speaking real cryptically, too. Like,
Not cryptic. He's a skeleton.
eh.
Glowing skeleton.
And they're in, like, a sewer.
Which he lives there apparently.
Apparently,
He's got all of his messages or
Well-
stuff on the wall.
live is a strong word. Because you find out he is Emil Gregg, and that he only became the Sin Eater through death. So Alice is all like, what? Eddie Brock was right. And that's the last time that matters in this story. And He's all like, through death, I became the thing.
Yeah.
That
not
they thought I was.
Not the thing.
Right, not the
not
the
right.
thing.
Not the thing.
Also, where's our red Eddie Brock was right t-shirts?
Who gives a shit?
I do. I give many shits.
Oh, you feel like he was robbed of his career as a journalist?
He was right.
All right, so he's all like, I can save you from your sin because you're such a sinful person, but I have to kill you first. So,
Good deal, right?
good deal. And she's like, no. And then, meanwhile, fucking Carnage up on a building is like, I gotta find her if I can stretch hard enough. And, like, he just puts the symbiote out in all sorts of directions. And then a piece of the symbiote happens to make its way over to them right when he says, I'm gonna kill you now, to Alice. And that part of the symbiote snatches her up. Well, first it hits the gun, so
It's
he
like,
shoots
stop
someone.
It
Yeah,
says fap.
Stop it.
yeah,
Fap.
And then blam. That's how that works.
You don't fap your shooter?
You fap to a blam.
You fap, then you blam.
So just the one time, huh?
Yeah, that's fast as it is.
Makes it sound like your dick blows up.
It's like, some may think that's a turn off, but really, it's just super efficient. Like, you get so much done in your day.
Yeah, it's about your business right there. Take shit seriously. You don't play games around here.
You just fap, your penis explodes, and then you never have to worry about it again.
They also just literally...
Ever.
It's just one fap. And, like, you're cocking a shotgun and it blows up.
It's like, what is that, the worst X-Men ever?
Yeah.
But even worse.
That would be even worse. Is like, your only power is you
To
can
blow up your
explode, but
dick.
just your dick.
So stupid. Or like it looks like a Looney Tunes thing, like Daffy Duck when his face blows up so the beak goes around. So your dick shoots out your ass.
I was thinking more like it'd be like split, like when they put their finger in the gun and it just blows up backwards.
Ow. Okay, enough with that. So, there's the fap, the blam, and then he snatches
I think
Alice.
I watched that on Nickelodeon when I was younger. Fat Blam.
It was one of the shorts in Kablam.
Yeah.
It was the Nick at Night version.
Yeah.
So anyway, Carnage ends up with her, and she's all like, "Fucking stop, Sin Eater," and he's like, "All right, will do, because I'm a hero now." And Sin Eater is like, "I'm gonna eat your sin," and he's like, "Well, I got so much, so go ahead."
Eats his sin like groceries.
And then
I think Justin said that the other day.
and then this is like lazy, but whatever. It's a fucking
This happens all the damn time.
all the damn time. So Sin Eater eats all of Carnage's sin, gets super huge, and now he's like super powerful. And he's like, "No, I'm gonna fucking crush you because I'm like the most powerful version of myself. I'm my best me. I'm living my best life." and fucking Carnage is like, "Wait, there's one more."
But that's not all.
And he jumps up onto Sin Eater and he's like, "My last sin is all that death, all that murder, all of it. I loved it all." And then like that was the straw that breaks the camel's back for Sin Eater, and he explodes with power.
It's too much.
Yeah.
The way you made it sound like how inspirational Sin Eater was being, like Carnage had told him, like, "Hey man, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right."
Like, this happened earlier in Axis, didn't it? Isn't this what Enchantress did to Red Skull? Wasn't that this storyline?
No. Enchantress made Red Skull fall in love with her, and because he used so much hate, the love hurt.
Yeah. That was this storyline, though.
Yeah, that was this storyline.
Like, wasn't that in Axis?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's too soon. Those are too similar.
Those are too similar to you?
Yeah.
I feel like they're very different. Red Onslaught was already super powerful. All she did was, like, make it care and it hurt. Like the Grinch growing a heart.
Yeah, that's right.
This is like, oh, your body's a dam and your power's all the water, and I'm adding that one drop on top that's gonna break the dam. And yeah,
It's like when you put a condom around a fucking shower head. So eventually it's just gonna explode.
Just like that.
just like a Van Dam. You put a condom around a Van Dam, that's not staying there.
No, man. He'll kick his way out of anything.
I feel like we're really stretching here. All right, so
Like that condom around that shower head.
I thought you were gonna say around the
Around the Van Dam. No, he's in a
Are we
condom
talking
bodysuit.
Jean-Claude or Rod?
Jean-Claude.
Jean-Claude.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, Sin Eater gets massive. He's like, "Hey, I liked all that killing." He eats that sin. Like implodes / explodes. Like it's really weird. His body shrinks back down. It ain't shit. And it's sort of like the ultimate.
I think there was a smaller version of himself inside of him. So it exploded and there's just a smaller version of him.
Like he was in a Megazord of himself.
Yeah. Like 5 smaller Sin Eaters came together to form one giant Sin Eater.
It was like Alien. He like ate his way out of his own chest.
He's King Piccolo. When Goku went through him and he spit out an egg that had him inside of him.
Okay. You know what? He is green. Well, his face. I mean, because even under the mask, right? Like, his whole skull thing is like green or whatever. Or is his mask purple? I don't even fucking remember.
It's green.
Green.
Oh, okay.
No,
He's
his
wearing
clothes are
purple. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, he ends up dead, and Carnage ends up absolved of all sin because all of his sin has been eaten. So he's legitimately like a pure character now. He's like, oh my god, thank you so much. That
Got baptized.
Yeah, that feels so amazing. And he turns around and is like, Alice, great news. Well, before he could even do that, like his head's just shot off, and by Alice because she picks up Sin Eater's gun, and he's like, why'd you do that for? And she's like, kill him. He's death incarnate.
In Carnage.
In Carnage. And I actually really like that, like, because he's questioning, like, why would you do that? And then he goes through, like, the entire future they could have had together, where he's like, we could have had each other. We could have had it all. And it's like them.
Yeah, he's got like a thing of champagne toasting her while she's throwing her bouquet behind her.
Yeah, like they just got married, and then like he's in scrubs holding a baby.
Yeah,
and like the best
he's in
part,
Carnage form and all.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's the best part. Like he looks like Freddy Krueger as someone's husband.
He looks
know
like he
why.
delivered that baby, dude.
I don't know why I thought you were gonna say Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze Krueger.
And then it's like them in a house with a bunch of kids playing, and then she's like telling all the police, "Fucking kill him!" And then they all start shooting him, and he starts drawing a comparison. Well, before that too, she's like, "Your last lesson is people suck."
Yeah.
But then he starts internalizing, like, wait, is this like when you're trying to get a dog to go on and you're mean to it? Is that what you're doing to me? You must be. That's what this is. Okay, I get it. Your last
You're
lesson
Frankie
to me,
Muniz.
Your last lesson to me is that you're Frankie Muniz.
Just rips off her face and it's Frankie Muniz.
Your last lesson is that being a middle child ain't so bad because it gets you a sitcom and your dad's more talented than you.
Which, by the way, not even a middle child. He's got 2 older brothers and 1 younger brother.
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
Yeah. So he like thinks of like, oh, because like if I was attached to you, then and we built a family, I'd be vulnerable. I couldn't be a good hero because you guys could be destroyed. So it shows like a flash forward of like that same family they built together like in ruin. So he's like, thank you so much because you've taught me the last lesson that a true hero has to be alone, and goes and swings off. Meanwhile, she's like, fucking kill him before
She's
he
still
leaves.
yelling,
Burn him with
"Shoot him."
fire.
They've been shooting him for a long time, and she's still like, shoot him.
And that is like the most.
It's like, Jurassic Park. Shoot time!
And that is the most intense fucking hate in eyes I've ever seen drawn in a comic book.
Yeah.
Too. She really wants him dead. And it's like, he saved your life like so many times.
Also kidnapped her.
Sure.
But yes.
But he's trying to figure things out.
Yeah, but also it's Carnage.
Yeah. But he's absolved of all his sin. He's inverted.
Yeah,
She
but
doesn't
like,
know
that just happened.
Yeah.
And also, he just talked about how, from her perspective, she just saw him getting sucked of a bunch of energy and talking about how much he likes killing. So,
Yeah.
I would be like, fucking kill him.
And burn him with fire.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing that none of them tried that. Shouldn't they all know by now, too? Symbiotes, Sonic, and Fire?
I feel like it's one of those things that, like,
Only the heroes know?
the heroes know and they just don't bother telling cops.
They don't really want the cops to know how to stop the villains, otherwise there's no point for them to be around.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. If they tell the cops what to do, then
Exactly.
We're good
Like,
at that.
there's no point. So anyway, Axis number 7. Havoc, maybe not such a bad guy, but then also, yes.
Really fucking bad guy.
Because
Just because you are a bad guy does not make you a bad guy.
if you're gonna say bad boy.
But this is sort of what I meant earlier when I was talking about, like, there are some lines in this. Because Havoc's like, he's talking to Cyclops, and they're looking at Janet because she's their prisoner, and he's like, can't we just save her? She risked everything in Planet X to save me and our daughter, and she was such a hero, and I feel like I owe her. Like, can't we just save one human? Because they have this gene bomb that's going to kill everyone who's not a mutant. Speaking of...
It doesn't even affect your genes. They just named it after.
Speaking of, so Havoc turns to Scott and is like, I mean, because Scott's like, that's not how it works. And he's like, well, could you do it? Could you sacrifice your wife for your people? And he just looks at him like, yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
She's
I
going
do
to
it
come
all the
back.
time.
She's going to come right back.
It's kind of a thing. I don't know if you noticed this, but what the fuck is with Janet's armor? Or not her armor, but her restraints?
Oh, right?
Because they're
Just sticking her boobs out?
It's just like a metal restraint that goes, it starts like around the neck, grabs the arm, goes down between the boobs, and like around the boobs, like so that her boobs are out.
Havoc
of
set
the
that up.
restraints.
Because even evil X-Men
Like boobs.
like boobs. Because of the tits. They know. They're great. Like, even they can't be mad at, like, non-mutant tits. They're like, oh, awesome.
Don't put the idea of mutant tits.
See, I feel like that's a shirt too now.
And the nipples are eyes.
Oh my god. Eye boy probably has eye nipples.
Who does?
But boobs are the tits. There you go. There's a shirt.
He's got areolas. Oh my god.
God damn it.
But yeah, I thought that dialogue there was good too.
And then Nightcrawler shows up and he's like, so we're being attacked and you wouldn't guess by who. You gotta come see this. But also, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they guess by who? They all understand how the inversion worked.
Yeah, there's only like 4 people right now that
Yeah.
it could be, besides the super villain good guys.
Well, they were like, why are they so dumb to attack us? Which doesn't make sense. Which I don't want to spoil what's going to happen, so.
I feel like it does because they do get their ass kicked by the X-Men.
Yeah, but later on they end up.
Right, but that's
That's what
because...
I'm saying.
Okay, so... it ends up being the ex-villain Avengers, Cap's new team, well, Steve Rogers' new team, well, Captain America. To understand, really, like he's an old frail guy.
Yeah.
Which, just as an aside, right? They can't find him. They don't know where he is. They haven't checked Avengers fucking mansion.
He's so weak right now. His power level's undetectable. So the
He's
sky-
But like
You gotta just
Avengers
throw this-
mansion.
They probably should have checked like the local bingo spot, to be honest.
Doesn't Tony Stark own the place where they're
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, maybe they overthought it and are checking the bingo spot.
He's not there.
And fucking Steve Rogers is such a strategic genius. He's like, they're going to look for me at the bingo spot. So we'll be the last place they look, Avengers Mansion.
Maybe he did that thing where he's like, all right, what's the first place they'll look? Because I'll go somewhere else, and then after they look there first, I'll go back there, because then that becomes the last place they'll look.
Because they already looked there.
That's how you play hide and seek, though, for real.
That is how you play hide and seek.
Anybody out there needs some advice?
Some tips.
Yeah.
You can check our other podcast. Hide and seek 101.
So, yeah. The X-villains attack the now evil X-Men, and they do get their butt kicked. Like, real bad. Like, Rogue is so happy. Rogue and a Nightcrawler so happy to beat up Mystique again. Like, that's like their jam now.
Yeah.
And also, both of them could have killed her so fast and don't. And that's kind of like sadistic. They really want her to like get her.
Yeah, they wanted to take their time on her.
Yeah. I mean, also, Marvel doesn't want to kill off too many characters, so.
Yeah.
Because they don't kill anybody in this, right?
Nope.
No.
Just inverted.
Just their reputation. They just kill their reputation. Which is funny because, as I say, they don't kill anybody. Spider-Man and Deadpool.
I think Axis is right when it was like when Marvel was getting like out of control with events, because it was like every year, right? There was an event, and then they had Original Sin and Axis like back to back, and then now they have 2 events going on that just started, and they have 3 more events announced.
During this time?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
No, I mean like right now.
Oh, right now.
Yeah, and this is the first time where they like an event finished, and then they were like, yeah, and Axis is also starting now.
Well, to be fair, there was a pandemic, so that like shifted everything. Maybe some of this was meant to be happening.
Still, it would still be like, what, 5 issues in instead of just starting?
Wait, I'm confused. Are we talking about the time in which Axis came out, or are we talking about contemporary right now?
Both. I was talking about both. Because
okay.
Original Sin came out, and then Axis right away, and now we've gotten to the point that there's 2 events out currently, and there's 3 events that are already announced, and they just started these 2 events.
But the 2 events that are out currently are featuring different people, right?
Yeah, because it's Fantastic Four and Avengers, and then the other event is X-Men.
Which is funny because X-Men do seem to tie in quite a bit with Empire right now, because they have a whole 4-part series, and then I looked at the thing, and there's going to be actual tie-in with the X-Men book itself, and then there's the Fantastic Four, obviously, because it's billed as Avenger Fantastic Four event, but they're still doing the X4 thing.
That's taken a while to come out.
Yeah. Well, because Dodson,
no,
man, he's like so fucking detailed in his background work.
The Zdarsky book?
Yeah.
That's done.
Is it?
Yeah, they just came out with issue 4.
4 just came out? Okay.
Oh, that's convenient. It's only 4 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't read it yet.
But one of the events that they announced, too, is an Iron Man event.
Oh, okay.
Because it's in that free comic book day of a bunch of swords.
All the swords?
Yeah.
I don't consider
Swords
it
galores.
I don't consider it a big event unless it's like everybody. If it's just Iron Man and Iron People, then
It's an Iron Man crossover. Because it's like, it'd be like the Iron Man and Iron People stuff. Like the same way that the X-Men have crossovers.
yeah, like I don't
within their own
consider
titles.
those big events. I'm getting
Did
all
you
the
read the
books
book?
anyway. Which book?
The free comic book day X-Men?
No.
Because it was just Iron Man that they showed, but the whole thing is that the Marvel Universe is like technology is disappearing and they're flung into the Dark Ages, so it's gonna affect other people.
Oh, okay. But I don't know. We shall see.
It'll have ripples.
Sometimes they pretend that shit doesn't happen and it doesn't make sense.
Well, usually because we're reading X books and they'll cut off any ripples the X-Men would have in the primary universe. It's kind of like they're the minority of the universe.
Well, it's like a lot of people should be concerned about Apocalypse. It shouldn't just be mute. It's like if there was like a dictator that was gonna blow up the world, and we were like, well, he's over there. We we shouldn't do anything about that.
Yeah, they don't worry about it until they want to, and then it's like, we can take care of this.
Yeah, but they don't care until it's like, well, we want to put him in a jail cell. We want Apocalypse.
We built a jail for this. We can't just have it sitting there empty.
Speaking of Apocalypse.
In empty jails.
Back to the story. So Spider-Man and Deadpool are watching Apocalypse, and they're like, how come he's not going out? The whole reason we're attacking is for him to leave, because we're trying to have a diversion and stop this gene bomb. I was waiting for it. And Deadpool is all like, hey, Spider Buddy, no problem. Diversion coming up.
Yeah.
And
Keeps
then-
on calling Spider-Man his trusty sidekick.
Yeah. And then he drop kicks from the top turnbuckle. Fucking.
Just makes it a missile drop kick.
Yep. He drop kicks Apocalypse right in the back of the head. And that's like the one good shot. And then they're fighting, but he does like sort of hold his own for a while, and that's like kind of annoying.
He just dodges. It's not like he's holding his own.
Well, he's holding his attention, and obviously so Spider-Man can
And
go
his head.
And his head.
He's got him.
Yeah, that was dumb. He's like riding him. I'm like, really? Like he can't handle this?
Yeah. And so Spider-Man goes, he tries to deactivate the gene bomb. And I don't know why it's so funny. And then Apocalypse sees that, and he's like, well, no, you don't. And he, like, tackles them both out the building because that's his deal, man.
Well, the best thing was when
He looks
Apocalypse
like a football player.
is like, I'm touching myself, now I'm touching you. To Deadpool.
Yeah. See, good dialogue.
Yeah, that was great.
Like, there's a couple of great moments, is what I'm saying. Like, kind of that Cyclops moment was like, yeah, I'd let my wife die. That was pretty fucking, like, dark, but also
He's like,
apropos.
I think we both know that I've proved enough that I'll let women die around me. No problem. They just come back. That's how women are like yo-yos. You murder them and they come right back. You kill yo-yos, right? That's how they work.
And he's like, and like right now you're talking about like Emma, right? Like Emma would be the closest thing. Yeah, she'd be a bitch, man.
Yeah. I want
She
to
could
touch
go.
her with Namor's trident.
Foreshadowing.
But she wasn't in here at all.
No, she wasn't. So, but she got to have original sin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just her. Her and a little bit magic were in Original Sin.
Well, because they're women.
Because Eve?
Yeah.
No, they needed the magic bus. Obviously.
No, obviously. Yeah.
Shirt coming sometime in the future.
Yeah, and so then Spider-Man's all like, I'm a good guy, and Nightcrawler's all like, I'm a bad guy, so I'm gonna kill you.
He says it like fucking Billie Eilish.
So yeah,
One's a bad guy. Ja?
I need that remix.
He would!
And then Nightcrawler took out Spider-Man better than Apocalypse.
Because they're
Did.
corny-ass bad guys. Because they're such good guys. But I think that's because he can teleport. How well is your spider sense going to work if you don't know, he's just instantly there. So...
Well, yeah, I agreed with that. I just didn't agree with the Apocalypse part. He should have been able to handle that. I understand more Spider-Man getting away from Apocalypse than Deadpool.
Yeah. But either way, it's so funny because I just looked at the panel and I'm just imagining, because Nightcrawler has Spider-Man against a wall with the sword ready to stab him, but now I'm imagining he's saying I'm a bad guy.
One's a bad guy.
And then Carnage saves Spider-Man, and he's all like, thank you, Carnage. Like, he feels really weird about making Carnage. And then even Carnage is like, no problem, bro. I understand. I'm a creep.
He's talking like Shatner, too. He's like, because he says, can't quite make mouth say thank you.
Yeah. There was a point, too, where when they first arrive, Carnage is fucking quoting the Warriors.
Yeah.
And Jack-O-Lantern calls him out on being a fucking douche.
Which I was happy about because I read that and was like, oh, annoying. And then Jack-o'-lantern said it for me. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah. Because at first I was like, this writing's crap. And then I was like, never mind. He's doing a thing. All right. Because that really did bug me.
Yeah, it bugged me too.
And then Sabretooth saw like, you Summers brothers, always piles of shit, Logan used to say, and he's my hero now, so you guys suck. And they're like, well, we haven't given you all of our suck.
Don't. Don't make that a thing.
And then Storm's just like, you know what happens to toads when they're struck by lightning?
Like that Sabretooth flew in here and completely missed both of them.
Yeah.
How? I have no idea.
Well, because he got struck by lightning.
Also, evil makes your aim better.
Well, they just literally, like, their feet are planted. They're right next to each other, and they just, like, move their torso, and he goes flying right through them. And then they're like, you don't know what we're capable of. Storm? Storm, can you get this?
Because they're both Neo, man. They did the one dodge.
Whoa. Pretty much. And then they talk shit just for Storm to handle it, which was...
Yeah.
A little funny.
That actually then makes me mad later with what happens. But before that, Deadpool is real intolerable being woke pool.
But then he got his face smashed, so that was good.
He does. He literally gets his face smashed by Apocalypse.
Canonically, he's referred to as Zen Pool.
Yeah, but kind of the same thing.
Woke pool. It sounds too much like wake pool.
Meanwhile, in Latveria, fucking people are getting fucked up by Wanda. Like, she's really mad that, I don't know, I
don't know the history between her and Dr. Doom, but she's really mad.
Well, it was in Children's Crusade, sort of.
Well, they're both magic users, so they have that whole, like, with them and Doctor Strange and Ileana, there's a whole thing.
But, like, she's acting as if Doom, like, raped her or something. Like, but that would not be a comic book, I don't think. Not in a Marvel comic book. In this time. Yeah, I know you're talking about Carol.
Yeah.
And that was a while ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
And, yeah.
But, I was going to say, it's weird that the inversion caused her to be genocidal, because that was kind of already her thing.
Right?
This was more dialogue. I didn't like her dialogue at all. I'm like, Jesus, why are you talking so much? Just do it. Don't talk about it, be about it.
Well, she starts to, though, because she's all like...
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it.
Let your dreams be actions. But Quicksilver is like, Wanda, boo.
Don't.
Understand. I love you. And she's all like, you're my family, and because of that, you must die. You always side with him, that piece of shit. So she puts a blood curse on her own family, and then, spoilers, turns out Magneto, not her dad.
Is it a spoiler for saying the thing that's happening right where we are in the comic?
I'm just letting them know.
Because
we've done this whole
show,
The whole thing's
Exactly.
a spoiler. I feel like some milkman just dropped dead right now.
he breaks all the glasses.
Like Magneto is even shocked, like, what?
Yeah, right?
What's going on? Wait, I'm not your dad, bitch.
All that child support!
Martha!
He just sees Charles like, you son of a bitch!
Red Skull, Charles dies again.
We were friends.
Man, so dumb. But yeah, so she's like, fuck you. You guys are gonna die. Really fucks up Quicksilver. And all he did was save Doom a little bit. And she got really mad about that. Then she starts fucking up Magneto because Hex powers. I really never understand what's going on when she's using her powers.
They never fully really define her powers. It's just like dark chaos magic.
Yeah, and they're going hardcore with the whole like calling it all chaos this and chaos
Which-
that, and the chaos lords of chaos.
I think this has to do around that time, right, where she actually figured out she's got chaos magic from some mountain or some shit.
Also, she's definitely got to be using those masturbation sigils because that's like a huge part of chaos magic. So, like, do you know about those at all, Justin?
No.
It's basically, you make a vision board and you jerk off on it so your dreams come true. And it's a huge part of chaos magic.
That sounds legit.
It is.
I do not see how that couldn't work.
I'm gonna try one out, see if we can get this podcast bigger.
Maybe that's what Doom did. He made her watch him do his chaos magic board.
He Louis
He
CK'd
Louis
her.
CK'd
He's like,
her.
no, this is how it's done. This is real chaos magic.
She got Louis CK'd by Doom. And it's like, I'm not having that shit anymore.
All right.
But he runs away, and she's like, well, you're a coward running away. And he's like, yep. And he gets out of there because Doom. He gets out of sticky situations.
You threw away that vision board.
So, meanwhile, the bad guy Avengers sort of reform because Iron Man's like, all right, well, we got to do something about these mutant guys, and we have to, like, I think this is the part where he figures out, is it the part? Fuck! Read your notes, Devin. Okay, this isn't the part. But they reform because they're like, we got to stop the X-Men, basically. At this point.
Because they got that gene bomb.
Because they got the gene bomb, yeah. And they also know that Steve's team are trying to revert everyone back, and they're like, we can't have that either. So
Yeah, they like being bad.
mm-hmm. It's like so much.
Playing a lot of Michael Jackson at this time.
But not that song. They're really into "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough."
I feel like that's Thor. Thor would be playing that.
So then it goes right back to Deadpool just getting the shit kicked out of him by Apocalypse. And he's trying to, like, not quite reason with him, but he's trying to, like, pull Evan's consciousness out, like, to appeal to, like, the good part that's still in there. And Apocalypse is like, that kid's gone. It's only me, you fool, and rips his fucking head off.
Yup.
And even his body is, like, really mangled.
Yeah, he
did
fucking
so much.
destroys him.
I want to know where the real Apocalypse is at this time.
He doesn't exist. It is Evan.
Didn't they kill him?
Yeah, Evan's like the next. They did this weird thing that like
He was, like,
Apocalypse is like a
rebirthed, right?
seed who always comes back, and that like the seed was Angel,
Angel became Apocalypse for a
and
minute.
Angel was going to be Apocalypse. And so then what Phantom X did is he took the next seed and he raised it in a different environment, and that's like what Deadpool's trying to get Evan to understand inside of like the inversion is like nurture can beat nature.
Well, I know Apocalypse can regenerate back if there's a single speck of blood left of him. He will be reborn and regenerated.
Yeah, I think they retconned that though to be a much grander thing.
They've been both there before.
But
They
I
were
think
there
he
in
also
Age
uses
of X-Men.
But it's after the fact. Yeah.
But I think he also used the Shi'ar technology to reclaim his past life memories and take over a new body to regenerate fully.
Yeah, it's convoluted what's going on with the Apocalypse, to be honest. But
Just 100 floppy disks. That's not Shi'ar technology.
like he's just got a safe room of floppy disks.
Like originally he had giant computers fucking everywhere, but he's able to replace them with like an iPhone.
Oh, man.
Technology's
No
gone.
one's seen
you
that
know
shit
what?
in years. He's like, no, this is celestial technology. That's why it's so big.
No, what if every time he reforms, though, he's mad at his past self for not fucking converting the files onto something better? but then just procrastinates himself, and then he dies, and like the next one, it's the same exact cycle.
The first thing he does when he wakes back up is delete his browser history.
Or he does that so he doesn't have self-shame later. Like right before a battle where he thinks he might die. He just erases it all.
Then he lives like, damn it. Can't remember the name of that site.
So, yeah, he's holding up Deadpool's head and is like, fucking, it's the age of apocalypse now. And you see the gene bomb count down 3, 2, 1, and the end. Except it's not.
There's 2 more issues left.
Yep. Because Marvel fucks. They go ahead and they put
Marvel
numbers.
Fucks.
Marvel.
If there's anything I know about Marvel, is they fuck.
They fuck up. Because they go ahead and they put the numbers of what the series is going to be on the thing, so you know. Okay, well, this cliffhanger doesn't really fucking matter because you set up so many things and whatever.
Well, and also shout out to Marvel Unlimited, who has issue 7 and then issue 8 and then issue 8. And then issue 9, and then issue 9.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all weird.
Well, sounds like you're weird, Marvel Unlimited. I don't have hate in my heart this week.
That's good.
So, you could say
You've been inverted.
I've been inverted.
It's better to have 2 8s and 2 9s than 0 8s or 0 9s, so...
No, my problem with them is usually they fuck up the page order. Like, so bad. Especially with those Uncanny books. I feel like once we go back into them, there are going to be issues.
Yeah, well...
How many issues? Like...
We got it written down somewhere. So anyway, speaking of issues, issue 8. Spider-Man happens to be with the bomb as it's counting down, and he's trying to figure out how to stop it, and he can't figure out celestial technology. So he's like, well, I'll start ripping out wires. And then your friendly neighborhood Carnage shows up and he's like, hey, if there's anything I know about bombs, it's that you don't really want to rip out the wires because it makes it go boom faster. It's like a fap and a boom.
I've read a lot of Carnage and he never uses bombs. He's always like a hands-on, strangle you and cut your throat guy.
Yeah, but like he's still like a villainy redneck guy, so it's like
He read a book.
No.
I don't think it's
Get out of here.
That's funny, Justin.
Is it an audiobook?
Fucking it was either like his fucking extracurricular activity when murdering people in school, or, you know, it's just other criminals he hung around. He learned how bombs work.
Yeah, he seems like a real avid learner.
Yeah. Well, he learns with his hands. So, you know.
Yeah, around someone's
throat. Yeah. He's like, tell me how bombs work, and he's just choking somebody.
I don't understand magnets.
I've turned to music for help, and they have no answers either. He would listen to the Insane Clown Posse.
He would.
Yeah. I know the only thing I know about his music choices is that he loves Leonard Skinner and he hates dubstep. Because I don't know if you know this, dubstep is actually a strength against symbiotes.
Because it's so loud?
Yeah. Like, Deadpool has used dubstep to attack Carnage before.
That's fantastic. So, as it's ticking down, Spider-Man's like, what if we web it up, Carnage? Like, me and you, we just throw webs in this thing, and Carnage is like, yeah, bud, that's not going to work.
We got enough web. I got all the web.
And it's like,
You're not a young man anymore. You don't have that much web.
So
You're shooting blanks over there, Spidey. I'll take care of this.
So basically, Carnage is like, probably the only thing that's going to stop this bomb is me if I wrap myself around it. And they're like, but you won't survive. And he's like, yeah, probably not. But, like, the world's better off without me anyway, so let's just not.
He says, as long as I know how to love, I know I will survive.
That would be great if that was it. Instead, you get, like, he has a demand for some really redneck shit.
Yep.
Did you want to read it? Because he has a final wish where he's like, make sure they build a statue of me.
Yeah, he says, do me one favor, Spidey K. Build a giant damn memorial in my honor made out of gold and jewels and rhinestones draped in the Confederate flag right in the middle of bleeding heart liberal New York City.
And he wants to have Freebird playing around the clock.
Yeah. Which he strikes me more as a simple man type of guy, but
stereotypes be what they are. But what I really liked is where he starts singing Freebird and it explodes and this is like, oh god, this is terrible.
He even get to the guitar solo. He's just
It turns out one of the wires Spider-Man pulled did work. He's on there for no reason. And then you have like all the X-Men, like fucking Apocalypse is still posing
Still
with
holding that
Deadpool's
head. I feel like his arm is super tired.
And they're like, wait, where's the explosion? What happened?
Are you guys filming this? Can I put this head down now?
And they realized it was stopped when Spider-Man smashes down on Storm's back, and he's like, it was stopped by the worst person I know doing the best thing I've ever seen. Those dance moves are so cool.
Also, like, debatable that that's, like, the most heroic thing he's ever seen.
Yeah. But as it's just self-sacrifice, right? So, like, Spider-Man's seen it and done it. So,
I guess it's just hyperbole.
yeah. But he starts beating him up, and then, right on time, the evil Avengers show up, and they start beating him up. And fucking Thor with his axe.
Just Thor, because Apocalypse actually...
And my axe!
Bajorn.
He actually grabbed Spider-Man by the face and threw him through a wall, or into a wall.
That's
which
the
is badass.
best way to grab somebody. Just full
Yeah.
face.
Apocalypse, yeah. But, yeah, now... This is basically where the X-Men start losing, because now it's like it's a two-front war. They're fighting the good, like the good villains that are Captain America's Avengers, and they're fighting the evil Avengers. So
But they're having problems with the evil Avengers. Like,
yeah,
that's who's
well,
causing the
Thor
problems.
really, Thor is
Thor and
wrecking
Hulk.
shit.
Claw.
Like, his name is also your reaction to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
His design is dope, though. I will say that.
Yeah, his name's just god awful.
It is every time he talks. Horrible.
Ugh, so bad. And then Loki and Enchantress have this moment where they kiss and they're like, let's do something super heroic.
Yeah, Loki kind of reminds me of Jay in that scene from Dogma where he's like, hey, before we die, let me get it in.
Kind of. And she's like, well, if this works, we're going to be back to evil people. And he's like, only getting hotter. And their plan is, well, right before that, this is when that bullshit happens where Cyclops and Havoc are both like, fucking no holding back. And
Well, the evil villains are fighting both, actually. They're not on the Avengers side. Because Absorbing Man comes and fights or punches Thor.
yeah, everyone's fighting everybody, but that also means that
It's a
everyone's
Royal
fighting
Rumble.
Exactly. So everyone's kind of fighting the mutants first, though, because they had the gene bomb. So they were already fighting there. So, yeah, it's like a Royal Rumble. And
Because Thor was beating the shit out of Apocalypse, and Absorbing Man comes up and starts fighting Thor.
All right, but it's like if, fucking old wrestling, because I only know, like, Attitude Era shit, really. If you had, say, Stone Cold was in the Royal Rumble early, right? And so he's, like, whooping ass because they're throwing in, like, fucking Billy Gunn and
Billy
fucking
Gunn.
X-Pac and shit. Like, they're throwing in the
I
people
thought
who
of
don't
Bob
really
Saget
matter.
for some reason. They're throwing in Bob Saget.
Yeah, Mr. Ad. Although Drew Carey was in a Royal Rumble.
Was he?
Yeah, eliminated by Kane.
But, like, they're doing that. They're throwing all these guys in. And Stone Cold's beating them up. Still getting hit because they do throw in The Undertaker at some point. But then they throw in, like, The Big Show, like, right after, and he's all fresh. That's basically Thor now is just wrecking shit. And he's been in the fight for
Yeah.
a while. So that's like Apocalypse right now. He's been fighting for a while. He's tired because
He was holding that head up for so long.
so long, and he was beating the shit out. So he's beating the shit out of Deadpool, and then Thor is all like, "My axe beats you. It's the scissors to your paper."
I like to think that Apocalypse switched hands holding that head up because it got so tired.
That's why Thor was purposely fighting Paper Man.
But I didn't like how, they're like, shoot Thor with everything you got, kind of, like between Scott and Havoc, and nothing. Not a goddamn thing.
Nope, he just stood his ground like, yeah.
Barely. He scoots forward, kind of. Like, what's happening there? Scoots. And then... Do you really want to start that here?
No, I don't.
Okay. And then I have no idea who saves them, actually. Like, who is
Jack-o'-lantern comes and grabs him, and then he throws his axe like a boomerang.
Okay.
And knocks him out of the sky.
Okay, so that's who that is. It's so hard to tell because it's all in gray. Yeah. And then Loki's all like, "Hey, Thor, you suck, huh?" And then they start fighting.
Also, it looks like his sword's so heavy that he can't lift it up to fight Thor.
Right.
Sorry, Odin's son. He's not Thor right now.
Right. And Enchantress tries to use her powers on him. And he's all like, "There's no point in using your powers on me because all the love you're trying to remind me of for Loki is just being inverted into hate. You're only making me hate him even stronger."
Which makes no sense.
Well, they want him in a blind rage, so it kind of does make sense.
It makes sense story-wise, but
Yeah.
their personality is inverted. It doesn't mean they're incapable of having that feeling if it's forced upon them from
exactly,
somebody else.
because now this is the thing that you bring up. What she did to Red Onslaught is like, what? But she was making someone who was pure evil love her. So she should be able to make Thor like love Loki right now.
Yeah, and also with that logic, if they were fighting somebody, they should be like more in love with them. Like the longer the fight goes on.
Yeah, but whatever. They needed him mad, and so he runs blindly through a portal to the moon. And what's on the moon?
The blue area.
Yeah,
the blue side of the moon.
It's a city, too. What was that, Inhumans? Wasn't there some stuff like...
The Kree built it, yeah.
Oh.
The Kree built it, and then, what's-his-face, the Watcher, he got it as a timeshare, I guess. Him and whoever was going to replace him.
Because I guess before he was just hanging out on the moon without a house.
Yeah. Moon without a house. That's the way it is. It's a moon, no
Things
houses.
will never be the
I
same.
know. I was looking at it.
That's the way.
So Loki takes him to there, and then so Avengers Mansion, where they haven't looked because we said it was hide and seek rules.
Yeah.
So the laws of hide and seek. We see Nomad like, "Put me in, Dad. I gotta get in the fight," and he's like, "No, son, we're saving you for later to not matter."
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys know anything about Captain America's son, but he, like, as far as I know, he's just there out of nowhere and then just disappears and is never mentioned again.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's weird.
I've never heard of him.
I don't know if in Cap's comics he's like, "Man, sucks my son is gone."
Maybe it's a fever dream, like, because he's an old man, so he's just, like, imagining he has a son.
Or maybe his son is made out of shards from Mephisto, and he's going crazy and is about to kill all the... It explains why he's trying to kill all the mutants.
Oh.
Because that's exactly what happened with Scarlet Witch.
I don't know any of that.
You should learn more X-Men stuff.
She just had a mental breakdown, didn't she?
Well, because her kids were shards of Mephisto, and then they were gone. And
But they're not. Because aren't they supposedly Wiccan and, what's his face? Wiccan's brother? The fast one? I forget.
Wizard.
Wizard.
I don't know his name.
Probably.
no, the wizard is...
No,
he's from Jessica Jones.
No, he's like from Golden Age.
Yeah, he's Invader's character.
Yeah, so Nomad wants to fight, and
Looks pretty angry for a guy named Nomad. Stupid.
That's better than what I wrote later. I wrote Nomad, no matter.
Captain America was Nomad at one point.
Yeah, that's why they did it.
Well,
Now every time,
No.
though, it just sounds like he's not angry. He's no mad no more.
Those are the times he's not a bigot. That's why he was only Nomad like that one time.
yeah. One day.
We're an hour into this recording.
All right, so anyway, fucking Jarvis shows up and he's like, I know where Red Skull is. And they're like, all right, well then we need to do your plan, Jarvis. And he's like, cool, first we need some grapes.
Some crepes.
Yeah, some grapes. He's a butler.
I haven't cooked in
Gotta
a
make
long
something fancy
time.
like crepes. Yeah. I actually really like the idea that it's like he's gonna tell them the plan, and so you know how like in a movie, lots of times like they scene shift, and everyone's kind of comfortable and they go over the plan, but like to do that, he's made like this whole thing, and they go through the montage of him like baking, and Captain America's like, well, Captain America is like, all right, so what's the plan that was worth like all these hours we've lost? And he's like, oh yeah, so he's like still in jail.
Like they
Turns
sit down at a big feast and it's like one bite, he's still in the jail.
Yeah.
They just all get up and leave the food there.
Yeah,
That's it.
like they just made it all for no reason. Anyway, so it's just a big fight now. Like you get a lot of panels of just X-Men versus Avengers versus formerly evil but good guy Avengers now. Fucking Mystique. So many characters, man. Mystique turns into Xavier for some fucking reason to appeal to Apocalypse. Like, why? And even Apocalypse is like, why the fuck would I care about Xavier?
I don't even know this dude. He didn't touch me. But I like that Apocalypse lays out, not like knocks him out, but hits Claw.
Yeah, it
Gives
just
him a good one.
fucking bust in.
Yeah.
Well, because he can hit him as hard as he wants because he's lost all the feeling in his arms from holding him the whole
They're
time.
just so numb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have Wanda all crazy again, still in Latveria. And she's like, I'm going to destroy everything because I'm a supervillain now. And nothing's going to stop me.
Villain speech, like
Yeah.
times 100.
And then Doom shows back up and he's like, I
Brahma-
got Brother Voodoo.
Bro, my boys.
And his brother.
Daniel.
That's
Not
so
a cool name.
You have to go to the next issue to find out who the fuck that guy even is.
What is his name?
The only thing they just said is, take her, Daniel.
Yeah, like does he have
It's
a
Daniel
superhero name?
Derman.
Like, does he have a cool name though? Like a code name?
No.
Yeah, maybe.
Or no, or is it Drummond? Daniel Drummond.
It's just Brother Voodoo and
Brother
Daniel.
Which is funny because he doesn't even say brother. He says Dr. Voodoo.
Oh, Dr. Voodoo
and his brother.
Brother Daniel.
But he doesn't even say Daniel. You got to go to issue 9 and be like, who the fuck is that guy? And then, yeah, it's like Daniel
Damn,
Drummond.
Daniel.
It's like, this is a random ass name.
God damn it, Justin. Because he's got the white shoes.
All right, so they show up, and Daniel is like a ghost god, though, apparently.
Demigod.
Yeah, so it makes it even worse. He's a demigod. His name's just Daniel. Daniel Drummond. And then he possesses...
Like the demigods, Thor, Loki, and Daniel. Although, the name Dan does have, like, meaning of, like, of God or something like that.
It still sounds lame.
It is. Well, it's like you ever read Jason and the Argonauts?
No.
It's like all Greek. It's either Greek or Roman old tales, but the main character is Jason. So it's
Right.
like, what's up, Jay? Hanging out. It's weird.
Yeah, so Daniel possesses Wanda because he's too powerful for her to overthrow, so she gets subdued, because they do still need someone to control chaos magic and another person to control order, so that they can come together.
So I looked up the meaning of Dan, and it's only God can judge me.
Oh my god. That song's name is Dan.
I'm picturing that ghost Daniel with like a tattoo on his shoulder blades.
So, fuck. Anyway, Iron Man.
I was gonna say Nomad. That's when he says that Hulk is back and him and Thor are taking everyone down.
And Thor's already on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But plus it's garbage. But that's also why they don't put strong X-Men in here. They got Apocalypse and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I think that might be in the Revelations books, right?
I mean, Colossus.
What's going on with the other X-Men who aren't evil?
Lift a whole lot. So.
Yeah, but I mean they got Hulk.
Yeah.
So the lifting thing kind of null. Claw and Void there.
So anyway, Iron Man realizes what happened because he's like, oh well, they don't have Red Skull, so what it must have been is they used my tech to hide that he was still there in the cage, and because you're such a fucking idiot, Sam, you didn't know that, so now I gotta do everything myself, and I gotta go and get Red Skull so that we don't get reverted back to good guys.
Oh, he's like, what am I paying you for?
Right? And
Sam's
like,
I'm not getting paid. What the
he's
fuck?
not getting paid, yeah. And then Storm stops Tony because she's all like, you know what happens to a guy in a metal suit when he's struck by lightning?
It's something different than what happens to Toads.
You just stay there in the air.
Every time it happens to Tony Stark, it just powers him up for some reason.
Did not happen when he fought Thor, though.
Because he knows how batteries work.
Yeah.
It's recharged.
Which is why I was annoyed in the Avengers movie when that happened.
Yeah.
That lightning charged him up, but in the comics, it overpowered his suit.
And then, so it's sort of alluded that, what's his face? Nomad is gonna go get Red Skull, but then you see it's fucking an old wrinkly face behind a football helmet, and it turns out it's Brett Favre from the
future. How much more useful would it have been for Cap to give this armor to Nomad?
Right?
Because he's like, man, this armor sucks if you don't have any strength to use it.
He's basically calling his son a pussy.
Yeah,